What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are going to talk about 9 different altcoins today. We're going to be doing some price analysis, technical analytics, and without any further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to go over the list in the order that we're going to be going over this. If you'd like to check the description, I will leave timestamps for the various cryptos that we'll talk about here. If you're watching this before the timestamps are on there, either I forgot or more likely you're just watching it early enough to where I haven't gone back and edited the timestamps in yet. I do like to publish the video first. But without any more of that, let's get into this. We're going to talk about ICP for Smooth Operator and Keltinger. You guys both requested that. ICP, starting it off with that. Moving on to Bull for Bartman, SHX for Garcia's Trading, JASMY, XVG, CULT for Crypto Kaku. Moving on to WOJAK for Leonda Fonte, UDT for the Current Thing Guy, and finishing it all up with Kakinu for, again, Keltinger. We're going to be doing it in that order. So, again, check the timestamps down below if you want to skip through, or, you know, even better, just watch the whole video, let it play through. I appreciate that a lot. But more than that, I appreciate all the likes and the subscribes that I've gotten. Thank you all so much for the nonstop support that we're getting. Let's get into this. Let's do this. That was a long enough intro. So looking at this here, ICP on the monthly on Binance, you know, I don't know if I'm really a big fan of the monthly for this thing because it's so new. I'm not really even that big of a fan of the weekly because it's so new. But I do like this bottoming pattern, right? I think I've talked about ICP a few times. I remember what my thoughts are on it, and it's that it's going to have a hell of a time reaching its all-time highs again, right? Because there's so many coins that have been diluted into the circulating supply that the same market cap, the same price up here is going to give you a lot higher of a market cap. Let's actually go into that right now real quick. Let's see. ICP, isn't it? Yeah, Internet Computer. So first off, you can just see it here. Go to max, logarithmic. This is the price, right? That's the price chart. You've been in a downtrend all this time. Low here, lower low, lower low, right? You just got into your higher high there. If we go to the market cap, we go to the max, and we do logarithmic. You've actually had a low here, lower low, but then you had a higher low and an even higher low here, and you actually had your higher high way back here. That was your first higher high, right? So the market cap has been a lot more bullish for a lot longer than the price has, and that's because, again, infinite supply continues to dilute the market. It's going to be harder to get back to where it was once. You know, for example, right now we're sitting at the same market cap that we were at essentially back in April of 2022. If we look at the price here, where we were in April, I mean, that's all the way up here, you know, at the lowest. That's the lowest points of that price range. So same market cap, but essentially a 31% difference in price. So anyways, this thing, without even getting into the technicals, I've just been talking about it so much, it's at about $4.5 billion. If we were to see a 10x, that'd be $45 billion. A 100x would be $450 billion. While that is possible to achieve, I don't think that it's going to happen. I don't think that we see that kind of number come into play. So I would think something around $100 billion or lower. $45 billion itself, a 10x from here would be quite the accomplishment in itself. So don't hold your breath over this thing. You know, long term, I don't like this chart. In fact, I think there are much better opportunities sitting out there, unless they're going to burn some, unless they're burning tokens or it becomes deflationary. But other than that, I'm not personally interested in the long term of this thing. Short term, though, had a nice little rally. I think everybody wishes they had some ICP in the short term, man. That was a nice week that you had there, pumping up 88%, finding resistance at the 1272. I bet you pull back. I do. I bet you pull back to the 886 right here at around $7.25-30, somewhere in there. Yeah. Weekly RSI is overbought, hella overbought actually. You went all the way up to the 92, man. You went really high. When you come back down, I mean, you're not really in a channel per se, right? But like if you were to come back down to here, you still got this higher low going. You're kind of in line with these like higher lows here. I'm just saying you could drop all the way back down to about 50, this 50 range. You might even drop just to the 60. You could go all the way back down, you know. But I would expect that you hold a higher low. Regardless, you're at a very high place to fall in your RSI. Generally speaking, the hotter you are, whenever you become not so hot out of the overbought zone, you tend to see a big pullback. And especially, tying that in with like a huge move like this where you didn't really stop along the way, you just kind of moved up, that also comes into a line with a pretty big pullback. This right here, again, that would put you around 690, like right around there. Was there something else? I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know. Maybe this top to this bottom here. Yeah, man. Hitting that 382 also on that more like significant fib, and then hitting this 1272, right? Grinding it. That 886, even actually this 382 of the overall kind of move that you're in right now. Hold on. I know it's messy, but just try to see it. Try to see it, okay? Because it's while I've got it up. The 382 here is where this white line is, right? That's the 382 of this low to high. This high to low here, you can see where the anchor points are, these little circles right here to here, right? This high to low, the 886 is just above that 382. You don't have to go to $6.90 or a little bit lower. It's common enough to find support at your 886 from this top to bottom. That'd be at about 730. But you could go, it's also common enough to go to your 786 of a retracement from hitting an extension. So you could see prices not just at 690, but maybe all the way down to 655. I would guess somewhere around 650 to 730 is where you're headed right now. You're at 993. Let's look at the shorter term stuff to see if there's anything that disagrees with that. Yeah, I think you're going down. I do. I do. Very much so. You are showing strength. You could do one last little pop up and get some like more severe bearish divergence, but I don't know, man. Oh, you've got hidden bullish divergence going for you, don't you? Volume's kind of increasing like 2 days ago, but nothing really too substantiated, right? Finding resistance at the 618 a couple times. Oh, let's look at the 4 hour. Neutral, not really giving us enough. It is kind of bullish, to be fair. It does look kind of bullish. With this look here, with how many times you've interacted with the 618 area and you haven't broken through it, I would expect that you find resistance. If you are to move up from here, you're at 996, maybe move up to 1150, get a kind of double top look, right? And then after that, you'll complete this like Bart-shaped pattern and drop probably, right? Bart Simpson, right? That's his head, and then you drop, right? That's the Bart pattern. Looks like his head. That's why they call it the Bart pattern. If you haven't heard it, look it up. Google Bart pattern. Go to images. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But that's more or less what it could be. Maybe it goes higher than here, but again, I think if it does go higher, it's 11 to 1150, and then we see that move down to about 730 to I think it was 650. 650. Yeah. That's ICP. Moving on from there, we're going to talk about bull. Some Bullaverse on KuCoin. This one's at the request of Mr. Bartman. Speaking of Barts, yeah, we'll use KuCoin. Very hot in your RSI as well. Just got out of the overbought zone. You probably do see a bit of a retracement. Let's see. Low to high here. You're only at your 236. You just broke it. Yeah, you're probably going to beeline it right down to that 00333 area, 0.00333. And it's very common, by the way, guys, for anybody that's learning about fibs, it's very common to prod through the 382. You can bounce directly off it. That does happen often enough, but more commonly I feel like you do actually go through it a little bit and then you pull back up and close above it. That's kind of the method I'm looking for. So what I'm saying is I think you'd actually go below here. And what is just below this yellow line right here? Well, previous area that you bounced at right there, right there. So maybe you move down to 003 or just below there, but probably moving down there in the more immediate term. Yeah. RSI on the daily is looking weak. I mean, you just broke through, right? You just got a lower daily. You've gotten lower daily high closes throughout this whole thing. I think it does. It wants to give. You've kind of plateaued, and you're probably going to move down. All in all, it's a lower high. Nothing to be too excited about just yet. But if you move down, I would expect that, even if you moved all the way down here, it's still a higher low, let alone if you move to like just below the 0.3. I do want to say, just because I was saying you could move down to the 0.003 doesn't mean you have to stop there. You could oftentimes enough with these things, with these kind of no-name tokens that have low market caps probably, you move down to your 61869, sometimes even the 786. So you could see prices all the way down at 0018, 00155. If I was looking to buy this thing, I might layer my buy orders in. This isn't financial advice, but I might buy some right here, buy some in this zone, and then save up some to buy in this zone as well. That would be kind of the idea. And then if you bounce from here and you move up above the 236, unfortunately, you would just basically be buying right around the price that you're at now, is how I would go about it. Because then at that point, I would think that you go up higher. But let's see. Let's see how this thing does. Again, daily doesn't look too hot. The 4 hour definitely looks weak. Not a whole lot going off on the weekly here, but you did just come out of this overbought zone. Generally, after being overbought like this hot, it won't let me. After being overbought like this and then coming out of it, you do see a more sustained downside, but you don't have to. You know, when I say sustained, I mean time. It takes time. So, regardless of price, it might be best to just wait a month or two, maybe even longer than that. Wait for this RSI to really reset. Maybe you find support at the 50, maybe you come all the way down to the oversold zone, something like that, and then we can talk about it moving higher. But that's bull. Let's move on to SHX. I want to take a moment, real quick, for anybody who's watching. There was a crypto called Staxum. I don't think this is it. Yeah, it's not it. And I got like 20 different comments last night on one of my videos talking about it, and I want you guys to know that there's no crypto out there at all that's that popular. Okay, like maybe if I had 1 million subscribers or like hundreds of thousands, okay, like they're gonna talk about it. But when you see 20 comments in a row of the same crypto, be aware that's probably paid bots. They probably paid some bots to talk about this coin. It's probably a scam. You know, that doesn't seem like something a legitimate project would do to me. And maybe it's not a scam. Maybe that's just like an outreach, and they're, you know, that's their way of doing it. But to me, it's just not legitimate. So what I'm trying to say is, if you guys see in the comments, Staxum, don't take the comments word for it. Look it up yourself. Maybe it is legit, but I don't know. You know, maybe I should do a video on that. But I'm digressing here. What I'm trying to talk about is SHX Stronghold here, and we're doing that now. Not on Bittrex, because Bittrex is dead. Oh, look at that. Yeah, okay, so very, very nice move on Gate.io. You are very incredibly overbought. Let's see, what did you have last week? 166%. You're up 24% this week. Not bad, man. Good job. Daily, definitely looking like you want to get some bearish divergence going. You probably go higher. You probably do. I would think that you do. You probably move up. You're at 0027 right now. You probably move up to 0034 or 0043, somewhere in that range, and that will be your top. So up from here, it actually looks good on the daily RSI, but you're probably going to get set up for some bearish divergence. You are very hot on the weekly RSI. It's a matter of time before this thing comes tumbling down. It'll probably go lower than prices now. So is it a good area to take profits? You're right around all-time highs, sure, but I do think that you go higher. I absolutely do, actually. I really like this. I really like this daily structure. Whatever the hell this coin is, Stronghold, it looks like it wants to go up more. It looks like it has more in it. I mean, that's 25 to potentially 50, 60% move. It could go higher than that even, but I would say 25 to 60% move. That could happen today. It could happen tomorrow. It's probably in the very immediate term time frames. Like by the end of December or by the end of the first week in January, one of those two. But soon, its reign to the upside will be turned around. You just got overbought on your 4 hour. Very resilient. Yeah, I like it. I think you move up. A close above this 886 on the 4 hour would be all the validation we need that that's actually going to happen. I mean, obviously getting new highs, but this look to me, man, it looks like it wants to continue. So that's SHX. From there, it'll probably pull back. Let's wait to see what the actual high is to see what the pullback is. But with something like this that's like on one exchange, don't be shocked if you pull all the way back to where like your relative areas of significance are, which would be, you know, more than a 50% drop from here, let alone if you go higher. So anyways, that's SHX. Let's move on to JASMY. Oof. Ooh. Let's see here. I really do. I forget about this one, man, but I really do like this bottoming pattern. Adam, you got your M here, and then it's like an Eve, right? It's almost like a reverse bow. By the way, I call it the reverse bow. That's not something that I've coined. I very much believe that it's a pattern that other technical analysts have analyzed in their time long before I was even born probably, but I don't know. I've never heard anybody call it anything else, so I just call it the reverse bow. When you get something like this where you get like a move where there's an M but like the overall move itself is kind of like a W, or you get like an M up here but you have that like W in the middle, it looks like, to me it looks like a bow and arrow, but it's the reverse bow because the arrow would go this way, but this one's actually bullish for price. And then say, I don't know. That's my thoughts on it, man. But nonetheless, Adam and Eve, very bullish looking pattern. You are overbought right now. You might continue to consolidate. I don't know if you're going to break out just yet, right? I bet you do consolidate more. Maybe you continue to march your way up and then like you kind of move sideways, kind of slightly down, and then you break out, something like that. You could break out now, but just with everything going on in crypto, I wouldn't necessarily expect that. Don't be surprised if you don't consolidate and you actually do move down a little bit. Maybe you move down to half a cent, maybe even all the way back down to 0.0042. But you're getting ready to break out one way or another. It's just you probably want this weekly RSI to cool off a little bit. That would be my honest interpretation of it. Let's see. Daily, man, the daily looks, it's like I don't want to go down. I want to keep going up. I mean, as long as you're above the 50 on the daily, I would assume that you continue to move up higher. As long as you're getting higher highs and higher lows, I would assume you're going to move up higher. But the second you break this structure, you probably see a little bit of a pullback. Not like anything too crazy for crypto, but I do like this bottoming pattern a lot, but I'm not expecting that you'll break out just yet. Because generally with patterns like this, you do break out. Okay, and maybe you do break out first, and then you consolidate on top of it. You know, where I'm saying you're going to consolidate below, maybe you break, you're overbought, you've been overbought for a while, and then you cool off, but above the breakout zone. That is also fairly common. So, I mean, with the daily, man, that kind of would make sense because this looks really strong, but you can only bounce off this 50 so many times, so I am curious to see if you continue to go down. 4 hours not looking hot. Yeah, let's see how this week closes. Let's see what we do next week. Again, as soon as you break this kind of like structure right here, the odds that you're going to consolidate below the point of break would go up higher. So probably all in all to say, I bet it's going to be boring. I bet it's going to be boring for a month or maybe 3. It's going to be boring for a little while. So that's JASMY. Let's move on to XVG because this is on the weekly, you know, so it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. XVG, Verge. I remember Verge, man. I love talking about coins that are older, a little bit older. Yeah, 2018. Yeah, I remember this thing. Right in the midst of the bear market. Look at that, Verge. Look at you. Double bottom. Your whole chart is like a big old Adam and Eve, or an even Eve, even Adam even. Man, what have you done? Wow. 2 months. Okay, that's 2 months time. That's still crazy. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I want to get something with volume on this. I mean, that's nice. I can see that you got a lot of volume, but that's not necessarily what I'm looking for. Maybe, I bet Bittrex, yeah, of course they do. But Bittrex doesn't exist anymore, man, or if they do, they're phasing out. What could I use? Mexi, no, because Mexi's new, man. They're not going to have it. I don't know. I don't know what to use. Femex, maybe not. No, I don't think Femex, maybe they existed back then, I forget. Yeah, we're just going to have to do it like this, man. Forget the volume. So on the week, actually, okay, while we're on the monthly here, it's very rare these days in crypto that you get to use the monthly chart. You're holding that 236, man. You're looking productive, very productive on a long, especially with like a macro scale fib like this. That's nice. Now, so if this thing is to see new all-time highs, you can see prices all the way up at 26 cents, potentially $1.12, potentially higher. Yes, you could. But with something like this that hasn't had higher highs over cycle to cycle, and it is technically producing lower lows, though I would more classify that as a double bottom, really a strong potential for some serious moves to the upside, we have to be realistic and assume that this could be your top for the cycle, the 61869. The 886, 786 could be the top for the cycle. You could form just another slightly lower high, right, like you did this last cycle. So this is not guaranteed, right? I don't have enough information. We've got the volume on Binance, but we don't have it relative to like what this was. You know, like I don't know. I don't know enough about this to make an educated decision as to whether I think it would go up or wouldn't. But oftentimes I have leaned to the side that these OG tokens like this, and this one isn't quite so OG, but 2018, it's been through multiple cycles, you know, bear cycles at least, and it's going through its second bull cycle here. Something like this could see new all-time highs, and it didn't technically, like it got a lower low, but it was like a slightly lower low. You held this. And again, we don't, you know, it's not really the best reference because you don't have it here, but you did get a pretty decent spike of volume in this. I wonder, what are you worth, Verge? XVG. Takes me back, man. This is like, I mean, it's not like when I first got into crypto, but earlier years for sure. Earlier years for sure, man. Hold up now. Hold on. I've got a plan. I just want to see. Well, let's just see. Could this thing 100x? With its current market cap, a 100x would be about a $6.2 billion market cap. Yes, I think that a 100x with Verge is possible. So this thing, especially being a somewhat of an OG, showing this nice kind of double bottoming pattern, you can see a 100x. It is possible. Now, again, assuming you don't get a lower high. If you can get a higher high, this is the area that you're going to. You're probably at least going to see a 71x. If not, you could see a 300. You really could see a 300x in this thing. Absolutely, you could. You know, 100x is 6.2. Is that what I said? 6.2. Let's just call it 6.2. No. I'm sorry. Yes, 6.2 billion. A 300x would then be like a $20 billion market cap. So definitely achievable, especially for something that's been around for a while, especially if it gets relevance back into it. I do have a theory that this cycle is going to provide a lot of gains for some of the more OG tokens. And this one is, you know, in the relative aspects of all crypto, it is kind of more OG. I really do like this formation that you have presenting right now, but let's see if you can get some follow through. Okay, so doing the more immediate TA, holding this 50, looking nice. I bet you want to go up. You might not go up yet. You might be consolidating still, but every movement down is probably a good area to buy. I don't know if I would sell. If I was looking to get into this thing, I would just accumulate. Very neutral RSI, not a lot going on the daily either. You know, you rejected off the overbought zone here. I would think that the move is now to the bears, but again, anything down from here is just going to be a decent buying opportunity. You might, with something like this, you might crash, break out, whatever, have like a fake out to the downside, and that's what sends you to the upside. You might not. You know, like it's kind of hard to do TA on something like this, but generally speaking, you're kind of in a range where anytime that you've been at that price or higher, it's a great time to sell. And any time that you've been at this price or lower, it's the best time to buy. So you're kind of range bound in here. And until you break out of that, there's not really anything to say. So you've been in it for a while. I would assume that you're going to break out of it soon, but watch soon be like 6 months from now. Who knows? All I would say is just more boring kind of price action. Probably goes down from here in the more immediate term, if I really had to guess. Yeah, the 4 hour looks like it wants to come down a little bit. But again, a little bit is the key word. Like I doubt that you move too much below this white line, and if you do, you'd probably see like a fake out, like a really quick downside. Maybe you move sideways for a day or two, or maybe you don't, and then you just move straight back up. You'll be at the top of this range in no time, maybe consolidate again and then break up, something like that. But that's Verge. Potential. There's some potential in this thing for the cycle for sure, but it could just as easily flop too. You never know with these things. So with that kind of potential and gains, don't bet the farm on this, right? You'd be safer putting your money into something like Bitcoin Cash, which I think also could do a 100x from its current price. So and that thing is, to me, that's a way safer bet. But who knows? You know, who knows? This might be the best crypto performing in the whole market. I don't, you know, who knows? Who really knows? Anyways, Colt. Moving on to Colt here for Mr. Crypto Kaku. Colt Dow, huh? Colt Dow. That's like the word, man. That's the word that everybody, maybe not so much these days, but that was the word that like people were excited about. Is this? I think, oh man, I want to use the one with volume. That's what I want to do. Okay. No, because Mexi's got these weird, oh no, okay. That's cool with me. We'll use Mexi. Okay. Most historical chart with volume, so I do want to look at KuCoin real quick. So we've got the increase in spike in volume here, where here it looks like a decrease, so just something to note. Anyways, bottom to top here, support on your 141.4, rejected your 618 and went lower. Where'd you go actually? You went down to your 2272. Nice. Low to high here, 2272 again, beautiful. So you do like your 2272, don't you? Relative high to relative low. Grinding out this 382. You probably come down to your 236 again. You're at, what is that, like, is that 5 or 4? I think that's 5 zeros, 317. You probably move down to 5 zeros, 258 is what I'm thinking. Previous area of resistance, previous area of support, and your 236. That would make sense to me. Yeah, rejected your 236. You could move even lower, all the way back down to your 069. Though I would think you might find some support right here at this area. That would kind of make sense to me. So previous area of resistance, previous area of support. Looking at it on the weekly RSI, looks like you rejected the overbought zone. You are out of your bullish area of control. Yeah, I'm quite confident you go down, unless you have a pump today or tomorrow or a little bit of a move up. Somewhat of a neutral RSI with a bullish tilt to it. Let's look at KuCoin. Ah, man, I don't know. You could, I mean, you're still in this range. You are still trending in this, like, kind of channel. As long as you're maintaining that, it doesn't look bad. As long as you're above this 50, it doesn't look bad. But I think, moving down here wouldn't be too crazy. Really wouldn't be. Hard to say with this thing. I want to say it goes down, though. That's my genuine opinion. It could. Watch it move up from here, though, man. Can't get them all. But all in all, Colt, all you've done is provide lower highs and lower lows, right? We go back all the way. You've just, nope, this isn't the right one either, damn it. I know it's a lot of clicking, I'm sorry. That upsets some people. I have a laptop, a computer, my microphone is right here, my computer's right here. You're gonna hear the things. It's a very high quality microphone. Let's see here. Lower highs, lower lows. I mean, you're in a downtrend, all that to say. So for me, to expect that you would break out of this like momentary uptrend that you have to the downside, I very much would expect that. And what you would do is then you'd set yourself up for a higher low to where you can break out of this overall kind of downtrend you're in. But I don't think that you're just going to break through it right now. And you are kind of at the points of resistance. So I think you go down from here. Where are you going to go? Again, let's see. Come on now. It's just so zoomed out. You know what? I'll have to zoom it in. This is ridiculous. Okay, let's see. Top, bottom. You're at your 382, rejecting the 236. Yeah, you're probably going to go down to this level at the 618, 61869 area, somewhere at 502363. I know I said 5028. I think it's going lower than that now. I think it's going to go 502363 to 502189, somewhere in that range. That's what I'm expecting. Down from here for Colt. Moving on. WOJAK. WOJAK. What a great name. Not too many great exchanges, though. We'll see if MEXC looks fine. Yeah. WOJAK looks good, man. RSI is kind of weak right now, but at an area that you've bounced before. Curious. You look like you're at your 382. Yeah, you are. You could bounce here, but I think you would have already, so you probably moved down. You probably moved down to your 61869 area, which, wouldn't you believe it, let's put lines right here, right at your 618, right at your 69. Delete this, and you can see previous area of support at the 618, previous area of resistance at the 618, previous area of resistance here as well, right, on the 69. Somewhat of a relative price area, and the fact that it's the golden zone for your fibs. That, I bet you go down there. So that's 3022 to 30197, somewhere in that range. I very much believe that you'd go down there. You could go a little bit lower, but that's the range I like to look for. You, again, with that being said, a lot of things have been reaching for their 786s lately, so just be aware of that. Don't be scared if it does go that low. But holding support on a previous area of resistance would make sense to me. So maybe just below 2 zeros or 3 zeros, 2 is what I would think for this thing. And as far as what does it do in the grand scheme of things, who knows, man. It could see tremendous growth. It might not. I don't know enough about this. You know, from here, again, you might find support down. Look at that 382, man, of this grand, like from all-time high to all-time low. I guess not all-time low, but pretty damn near it. Relative lows, cycle lows, or maybe not cycle. Because this is such a new chart. It's on the daily. I thought I was on the weekly for a second, but you probably move down to this 382, man, which is also your 6.9, which is also a previous area of resistance here, kind of an area of support. Yeah, I bet you do hold that somewhere around 302. That's where you're going, and then from there, maybe up, maybe up. Oh, you look like you're in a zigzag right now, potentially. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you might be on your 5th leg down, which could take you down here. Some people, depends on what you hear, but some people would say the 5th leg is often the longest leg. Oh, this wouldn't work as a zigzag, because wave 3 would be the shortest, and wave 3 is never the shortest, so that actually throws that out. Whatever, I think it's going lower nonetheless. So that's WOJAK. UDT. UDT. That's the nice thing about Elliott wave. You can always, and I'm not the best with Elliott wave theory at all. I have a very, very modest understanding of it, but from what I know, you've got the wrong count if the third leg, the third wave, is the smallest. Always. Your C, your 3, it should never be the smallest. The smallest should be like, well, obviously the smallest should be like 2 or 4, but of your impulse waves, like your 1, 3, or 5 on a zigzag, the smallest is often like the 1. Could be the 5 though, but not the 3. If I lost anybody, if that doesn't make sense, don't worry about it because I'm done talking about it. Let's talk about UDT, USD. Is it not a thing? It is. Let's use Dex Screener. How's Jesus Coin doing? Decent, but probably goes lower. UDT. Looking at it, we're looking, wow. Well, Mr. Current Thing guy, I hope you didn't buy it up here, and I hope you sold it, because it looks like we recently just pooped the bed. I have to watch my language. I don't have to. I choose to. It's a choice. I've made it myself. Let's see here. Countdown to bar close. It doesn't do it on the daily, but it'll do it on the 4-hour. I don't understand why. It looks like a double top is what it looks like. It looks like a very clear double top. And let's see. How old is this thing? Might use the 3-day chart. I have to input the RSI every time I pull up a new chart on here. That's my one issue, my one caveat with Dex Screener. But the RSI here is more OG. It's like OG TradingView RSI, so I like that a lot more. The new one, there's too much stuff on it, man. I don't need all that stuff. Let's make this different colors just because we're doing it for funsies, man. I don't know. And then what should the middle one be? Green? Sure. And let's change the purple because that doesn't look like it fits at all. Or maybe a lighter, no. Kind of looks good that way. It's almost like a Strawberry lemonade. I like that. Okay, so we're gonna keep it at that. Sorry guys. So bearish divergence on your weekly. Bearish divergence, double top at an area nonetheless that you have found resistance multiple times. Right? You got resistance here, resistance there and there, resistance there, closing resistance, support. Significant area to turn around on. It makes sense. But what I do like about this thing nonetheless is that it's like it moved down and you're definitely in an accumulation phase. Now, how does that give you new all-time highs? Maybe. Does it not? I don't know. You know, it's hard to say. I don't want to take this scam wick here. I might just take this one. Hard to say, though. I don't know. Is there another one? Because I know sometimes you have different ones. UDT with this thing. Volume is here, 180, 128. That's the one to use. Not on any major exchanges yet, and it's been around for a little while. That's interesting. Not a whole lot of volume recently either. Something like this, man, it might just be a death spiral into nothing. You watch you have a decent bull market, right? Decent as far as like compared to like the stock market goes. Maybe you move all the way up here. You have an 8x. Maybe you know, I doubt that you're going to go up here. That's like a 56x. I know, you know, going to new all-time highs would already be greater than a 100x, and it's possible. It is possible. You definitely have a down, a slightly less down, and then a flattening out, which is a nice structure overall. But I'm not too certain of this thing. Something like this could very well just perform like a lower high and then death spiral into nothing, you know. I don't know enough about it, but watch it do well. If it does go all the way up to new all-time highs, watch it do really well and just get immense gains for everybody involved with those kind of gains, because again, that's like insane. It's absolutely insane. I think from here to new all-time highs, that's a 130x just to get to new all-time highs, like literally just to get there, let alone if you continued on, you're talking about multi-hundred X's. You don't need to bet the farm on this thing, but I don't believe that it does that personally. First time you've been overbought on your weekly since your all-time highs, showing bearish divergence. I bet you do see some downside. Looking at the daily, yeah, yep. I think you go lower. I very much would believe that you go lower than this. You're at $18.94. You probably go below 11.30. Where are you going to go? It's a good question. $618 is right there at $10.58. Maybe you go there. Maybe you go all the way to $8, but something below $10.60 is what I'm thinking. Let's see. Previous area of resistance right there. Previous area of support. Previous area of resistance. Yeah, you might tip that 618 perfectly. You might go slightly below it, but around 10.50. That's probably where you're going right now. And then probably up because yes, you are accumulating, so you probably do move up. But will you see a new all-time high? That's the question. I don't know enough about this thing to make that kind of decision. You've been around for a while. You're not on any exchanges. What's up with that? Well, you came out at the end of the bull market, so that might be what's up with that. Maybe they're working quietly in the woodworks. But anyways, that's UDT. Probably goes down from here. Let's finish this bad boy up with yet another one on Dex Screener. It's got the best name of them all. You know, I called it COQ Inu, but I've heard everybody in crypto calling it Cock Inu because nobody cares, man. I didn't know. I mean, obviously that's how you pronounce it, but let's see. Volume. This is the one to use, right? Use the chart that has the most volume that oftentimes provides the most accurate determinants for price, if that makes any sense. This is a very new chart. Probably pumped on hype alone and the name itself, and now it's dumping and it'll go to zero forevermore. You'll never see your money back. Don't expect it. Maybe it does well. It's a meme coin. Meme coins have their place at times, right? But anybody investing in meme coins, like really, like for the most part, almost every single meme coin out there, it's like a there are exceptions, but almost every single meme coin out there, it's like you are willingly putting your money into something that you know is absolutely pointless. Like, that's it. And everybody accepts it, but you're willing to bet on the fact that it could go up. And this thing could go up. It could go up a lot higher if it, you know, it's a meme coin. If crazy things happen with meme coins, especially if they gain popularity, you know. but it could also just as easily tank forever, as most of them do, and never again to see its highs that it just so recently achieved. I don't know how to do technical analysis on this, man. You look like you're holding your 618 as resistance after finding it as support, breaking through it, holding it as resistance. Not a good look, right? You tipped your 886. If and when, I say when because I'm confident that you do go below this, if and when that happens, there are, so I guess these price targets are not in the, it's because I'm not in log. That's why. That's why. See, it's giving me negatives. You can't get negatives whenever you're on the log chart. Fibs. It doesn't look any different. Maybe you can get negatives when you're on the log chart. I guess I'm wrong. I can be wrong, guys. Well, with this, there's not really a whole lot to go off of because this says that you're going to be owing money on every coin that you own, and that's just not going to happen. But because you can't go in the actual negatives. What's up with it? It just gives up, man. I don't know what to tell you. Probably goes lower. Probably goes lower. I bet it goes lower than this blue line here, which from the current price is, I mean, that's another 55% to 60%. You might even go lower than this low here. You know, like you could have quite the drop ahead of you. I don't know though. Looking at the 4 hour, all you did was you had this like consolidation phase, broke out lower, tested this previous area of support as resistance. You're probably going to move lower. That's Kaka Inu. I think it's going lower. So that's it, guys. That's really it. There was one, I forget which, was it WOJAK? That looked like it wanted to go up in the more immediate term. No, it was not WOJAK. What? There was one of them. I can't think of which one it was. Was it SHX? I just want to know because I like to announce a winner. No, it wasn't SHX, I remember actually. Maybe it was Verge? That doesn't sound... Was it Colt? I feel like Colt I thought was going to go down. They all look like they're going down, man. That's the thing. They all look like they're going down. Maybe Verge is the winner. Maybe Verge is the winner out of all of these. I don't think it was Colt, man. Yeah, I don't think it was Colt. I forget. There was one of them that I thought was going to go up in the more immediate term, but I don't think it was. It must have been Verge. I don't know. Anyways, they all lose. They all lose. None of them win. If any of them won, I'd probably say Verge, but that's it, man. So if you liked the video, hit that like button, subscribe to see more. That was a hell of an ending, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.